Good morning, students. So this is lecture 6 of chapter number 2, the nationalist movement in Indochina, class 10, subject history. So for now particularly, we are at the end of this chapter and we will cover the end series from this particular chapter. So till now we have covered a lot from this chapter, like all the 6 series that we have covered. We have talked about the emerging from the shadow of China, then the dilemma of colonial education, hygiene, disease and everything, resistance, religion and anti-colonialism, the vision of modernization, the communist movement and the Vietnamese movement. Now in this particular lecture, we'll cover the end series of this particular chapter, which are series 7, which is the nation and its heroes. So we'll talk about all the heroes that emerged in their particular state as a whole. Then in this, who were the basic heroes that they call out. So they were the women as rebels. We'll talk about that. Then heroes of past times, women as warriors, women in past of peace. So basically, in this particular series, we'll talk the role of women that took place in Vietnam in succeeding to their democratic republic there. Now, and the last series is about the end of the war, so it's just a small series that how the war is ended. They are talking about that, and the homework solution that I will give you from the previous lecture that I have given the homework, and the homework that I will assign you in this particular lecture. So we'll finish off with this chapter finally today itself, but there will be a summary lecture that I have to make, so just bear me with this chapter. One more lecture only, so the last lecture will be maybe Monday only, so just spare me with this particular lecture and we are just going to finish it off today itself, Monday itself. So just a quick recap of what we have started in the previous lecture. So basic effects of Vietnamese war on US. So when the US came in Vietnam, they were the strongest competitors all over the world and they competed with Vietnam. They took away the one part of Vietnam with themselves, that was the South Vietnam. So the American people opposed their country's involvement in the war and only non-graduates had to join the army. So many poor men had to go to Vietnam and many Americans were killed and many were wounded. So their relatives turned against the government and many books were written and films were made to show the suffering of the American troops. But still they were at the verge of worst only because Vietnam, they have took such a strong position in their own army that they can revert back and rebuild back very equally to any of the community there. Then there was strategically the role of US media and films that took place. So the US media and films were divided over the issue of US involvement in Vietnamese war. Some movies like Green Berets directed by John Wayne supported the war and some other movies like Apollo Captain, now directed by John Ford, opposed the war and showed its bad effects. So there were many films also that have been made from this Vietnamese war that happened. Then there was Ho Chi Minh Style, which was a network of roads and footpaths. Most of the trial was in Laos and Cambodia and it was used by the Vietnamese in their war against the US forces, and it was used to transport goods and people from North Vietnam to South Vietnam. It was used for the quick movement of forces from one war front to the another and was used to supply food, army and ammunition to the soldiers. It was support bases and hospitals along the way. So basically this trial was to the help of the Vietnam people there, Vietnam soldiers, Vietnam army, so that they can fight it out well with the American troops there. Like this in the chart you can see that from where they were coming, from where they were taking the help from. So all the way from Laos and Cambodia they were coming to help the South Vietnam people, from north also, from Laos and from Cambodia as well. Now we're starting off with the last particular series, the 7th series of this chapter, which is the nation and its heroes. So another way of looking at social movements is to see how they affect different groups in society. So there is not only one or two social movements that happen in Vietnam. There were other social events also that was led by many women there, who took place as a major role. There was quite a major role of women in particularly giving a democratic society, democratic republic to Vietnam. How? So let us see how the roles of women were specified in the anti-imperialist movement in Vietnam, and what that tells us about the nationalist ideology there. So we'll talk about the role of women here. Now, what was the role of women that helped the anti-imperialist movement in Vietnam, and what they tell us about the nationalist ideology from their perspective. Now, women as rebels. So, women can also be rebel. Still, at that time, they are not allowed to, and in many parts of the world, the women have not been allowed in anything. They can't even rebel, they can't even speak for their rights. So but here the scene was totally different. Like the women in Vietnam traditionally enjoyed greater equality than in China. So basically the women in Vietnam, they were traditionally enjoying a lot more equality than in China and in any other part of the world, particularly among the lower classes, but they had only limited freedom to determine their future and played no role in public life. But there was certainly a limited freedom that had been given to them. They were particularly belonging to some lower classes also. So here, if we talk about from the past time, the lower class women, they don't even get the time to survive in this particular world also, because they have given no particular right. They were just slaving the men in the past, but here they have given them certain limited freedom rights, but they cannot determine their future and they played no role in the future life. So as the nationalist movement grew there in Vietnam, the status of women came to be questioned and a new image of womanhood emerged. So basically when this nationalist movement was building up, women also started to took part in such movements, and a new image of women came to be questioned with these particularly in a men group, that why they are supporting us, why they are rebelling so much, and a new image of womanhood was emerging at that time. Writers and political thinkers began idealizing women who rebelled against social norms. So there were many writers and political thinkers, they began and idealizing how these women are rebelling against these social norms, why they are participating, why they are coming up with their revelation thoughts and revelation ideas. So they were in a dilemma of all these things. Then in the 1930s, a famous novel by Nat Lin caused a scandal because it showed a woman leaving a forced woman and marrying someone of her choice, someone who was involved in nationalist politics. So basically in 1930, a famous novel, Nat Lin, became a very big scandal in Vietnam, because in that particular novel they showed a woman that she was leaving a forced marriage. So she was being in a very forced marriage with his husband, and she tried to come out of it and marrying someone of her own choice there. So now it is quite okay, we are living in 21st century and now quite okay, we can do that, but at that time it was a big scandal and it was a big issue there, and someone who was involved in nationalist politics. So basically that particular man was involved in nationalist politics. So the involvement of nationalist politics was a lot big issue there. So this rebellion against social conventions marked the arrival of the new woman in Vietnamese society. So the people were criticizing a lot of women that time. They were starting criticizing them that the limited freedom that have been given to them, they were also try to take it back. But the rebellion was such a big amount now that all the women were coming up in such a good number, and they were marking the arrival of a new woman in the Vietnamese society there. So the women started now with their own society, they started with their own movements, they were the revelation truth of a new Vietnamese society there. Now, heroes of the past times. So basically they were known as the heroes of the past time, the women. So these rebel women of the past were similarly celebrated. So how the all the women have been fighted off with this men's Vietnamese society, how they rebel with each and every custom and every tradition. So they were fighting it out with each and everything, and these rebel women of the past were similarly celebrated. How? Because in 1913, the nationalist Phan Boi Chau wrote a play based on the lives of the Trung sisters who had fought against Chinese domination in 39 to 43 CE. So the nationalist person Phan Boi Chau, he wrote a play in the favor of these women. He wrote a play for two Trung sisters who fought against the Chinese domination which was having into them in the 39 to 73 CE time period. So in this play, he depicted these sisters as patriots fighting to save the Vietnamese nation from the Chinese. So in this play, he depicted their stories as a patriots fighters. So they were the national fighters who saved the Vietnamese nation from the Chinese there. So he have made them the heroes of the particular show. He has made hero as a woman. So he have made women as the hero of a particular show that have fighted out to save the Vietnamese nation from the Chinese. So it was quite a big thing that he have shown women with such a powerful thing. And the actual reasons for the revolt are a matter of debate among scholars, but after Phan's play, the Trung sisters came to be idolized and glorified. So there were many men who were revolting against these things, that this should not come up, the women should be there in their limited freedom only. But the actual reason was revolting around a matter of great scholars. And after the Phan's play, the Trung sisters, they are actually idolized by all the women there, and they were glorified. They were depicted in paintings, plays and novels as representing the indomitable will and the intense patriotism of the Vietnamese. So if anyone ever you are going to Vietnam, in their art galleries and in their many of the places, because Vietnam is the place of art only, you will see a lot of things from history there, and you can see many paintings of these Trung sisters as well. Till now it is there. I have seen in the pictures. So there are many paintings, there are plays also that have been played, and novels also that have been made according to them, keeping in mind of these Trung sisters. So they were depicting a lot of things. They have this Trung sister was a greatest example to took off the women from a lower level to a very higher level, and they have actually glorified the women part there. So they were depicting in paintings, plays and novels as representing the indomitable will and intense patriotism of the Vietnamese. We are told that they gathered a force of over 30,000, resisted the Chinese for 2 years, and when ultimately defeated, they committed suicide instead of surrendering to the army. So basically, we were told that they were forced to they gathered in the amount of 30,000 women at a time, and they resisted the army of Chinese for particularly 2 years. And when ultimately they were started to get defeated from the Chinese army, they committed suicide instead of surrendering to the army there. So likewise, I have particularly seen this kind of scene in the movie. Which movie was that? Deepika Padukone and Ranveer Singh. Padmavat. So in Padmavat also, when Ranveer Singh had defeated Shahid Kapoor in that particular war. Deepika Padukone and all the other women, they have gone to the Johar. Ultimately, that was the win of their particular war. So that was quite a huge thing that happened. The power of women have been shown in India also, and we actually should thank her that she has given such a good example of women there. Now, other women rebels of the past were part of the popular nationalist law. So many of the women rebels, they were also part of nationalist movements. One of the most venerated was True Anu, who lived in the 3rd century CE. So there was one particular woman who stood up in a very strong way. So basically, through Anu, she lived in the 13th century CE, orphanage in childhood, and she lived with her brother. So she was an orphanage child, and she basically lived with her brother. On growing up, she left home, went into the jungles, organized a large army, and resisted Chinese rule. Finally, when her army was 50 crusted, she drowned herself and she became a sacred figure, not just a martyr who fought for the honor of the country, but the nationalists popularized her image to inspire people to action. So basically, she on growing up, she left her home. She went to the jungle. She was living there. She organized her own large army and started to rebel against this Chinese rule. And finally, when her army was 50 crushed, she drowned herself. She basically drowned her entire body, and she became a sacred figure there. Not just a martyr who have sacrificed her life, but she was fought for the honor of the country, and nationalists popularized her image to inspire people to action there. Now, women as warriors. So there was women as rebels, there are women as warriors as well. In the 1960s, photographs in magazines and journals showed women as brave fighters. So in the 1960s, when these photo in the magazines, there were many photographs and journals that have been made for the women. They are portraying women as the brave fighters of that time, and there were pictures of women militia shooting down planes. So basically, there's a kind of a game that was shooting the planes there. So there were many pictures of women that have been showing the picture of shooting the plane down by the militia, and they were portrayed as young, brave, and dedicated women. So women was portrayed as young, brave, and dedicated, or basically dedicated towards their own state there. So the stories were written to show how happy they felt when they joined the army and could carry a rifle. So there were many stories that came up, and they were quite happy to write such stories because they started joining the army there and could carry a rifle as well. And some stories spoke of their incredible bravery in single-handedly killing the enemy. Nguyen Thi Axon, for instance, was reputed to have shot down a jet with just 20 bullets. So basically, he was quite a big name. So it was quite a big name there, and he was reputed to have shot down a jet with just 20 bullets. And some stories basically some stories have been written on the incredible bravery of her, that she single-handedly killing him because he was such a big name that time. So women were represented not only as warriors but also as workers as well. So they were shown with a rifle in one hand and a hammer in the another. So basically, women were also represented not only as warriors but also as workers as well. So they can do each and every work. So woman is the one who can do each and everything. Till now we can say that they can do each and everything, and we are equal to men. We are not above them, we are not below them, we just are equal to them, and that should be the thing in everyone's head. We should not the women should not get any other privileges that they are getting. They should get the same privilege which the men is getting. So they have shown them with rifle in one hand and the hammer in the another, and whether old or young, women began to be depicted as selflessly working and fighting to save the country. So basically women began to in their time, if she is young or she is old, they are working and fighting it out selflessly for their own country. And casualties in the war increased in the 1960s. Women were urged to join the struggle in large numbers. So when there was a difficult time that came in 1960s, women were also urged to join their struggle in large numbers, and many women also responded and joined the resistance movement. They helped in nursing the wounded, constructing underground rooms and tunnels, and fighting the army. So the women played a major role here. They started helping as a nurse all the soldiers and army people who were basically they were ill or they were having any sort of चोट वोट लग जाती थी तो उनकी हेल्प करने जाते थे. देन constructing underground rooms, underground way में they have put in many rooms here and tunnels to fighting out these and their enemies. So along the Ho Chi Minh Trail, young volunteers kept open to 2,195 kilometers strategic routes and guarded 2,500 key points. So basically they were young volunteers that coming up from roads, and they were traveling this much to be a part of the war. So they built 6 airstrips, neuralistic tens of thousands of bombs were made, transported tens of thousands of kilograms of cargo, weapons and food, and shot down 15 planes. So basically they were helping in each, the women were helping in each one of them. They were traveling, they were helping them in any way possible. They were trying to help the Vietnamese army there. And between in 1965 and 1975, of the 17,000 youth who worked on the trial, 70 to 80% were women. So basically all the people who were helping the Vietnamese army, 17,000 youth who worked on the trial, 70 to 80% were women. And one military historian urged that there were 1.5 million women in the regular army, the militia, the local forces and the professional teams there. So basically in the one of the military historian book, they have said that there were 1.5 million women in the regular army they have, and the militia, the local forces and professional teams they have built. So basically Vietnam was till now has been representing women as a strong army force. So they have the biggest army for women army force there till now. Women in times of peace. So by the 1970s, as peace talks began to get underway and the end of the war seemed near, women were no longer represented as warriors. So when the peace started to begin and the war was at the verge of end, the women were no longer represented as warriors here. Now the image of women was as workers began to predominate. So again now they have, like when they started having the peace, they have started the end of the war was near, they represented women as not as warriors, but they started image of women as workers began to predominate. They are shown working in agriculture corporates, factories and production units rather than as fighters. So again this happens to each and every woman out there. She is being the power pack point at many point of time, but when their work is done, they give treat that particular woman to the same level they have been treating from the ages. So that's the chronology which is going on from years ago, and it is still there. So the firstly when they need that particular woman, they have given them the name of warriors and workers, but when their work is done, the end of war is near, they have represented themselves as a normal worker only, and they were working only in agriculture cooperatives, factories and production units rather than being a fighter there. So it also came up, but now the scene is changed in Vietnam. They still have the largest army there, but at that time in 1970 they represented women from warrior to being a worker. Now the end of the war was near, so the prolongation of the war created strong reactions even within the US itself. So when the end of the war was claimed, US still was reacting in a and basically they failed to achieve their objectives, so they were quite upset. Their reactions were coming up again and again, and the Vietnamese resistance had not been crushed. The support of the Vietnamese people for US action had not been won. So basically they were in quite a sad moment they were having, that the US, who is the strongest competitors in the entire world, they failed to achieve their objectives. They didn't win Vietnam, they didn't crush Vietnamese people, they didn't get the support of Vietnamese people for US action, they got nothing. So in that meantime, thousands of young US soldiers had lost their lives and countless Vietnamese civilians had been killed. So when all these were coming up to an end, there were thousands of young US soldiers, they lost their lives, countless Vietnamese civilians has also been killed, and this was a war that has been called the first television war. So it was known as the first television war there. The battle scenes were shown on the daily news programs, and many became disillusioned with what the US was doing, and writers such as Mary McCartney and actors like Jane Fonda even visited North Vietnam and praised their heroic defense of the country. The scholar Noam Chomsky called the war the greatest threat to peace and the nation's self-determination and to international cooperation there. And the widespread questioning of government policies strengthened moves to negotiate an end to the war, and a peace settlement was signed in Paris in January 1974. This ended conflict with the US, but fighting between the Saigon regime and the NLF continued, and the NLF occupied the presidential palace in Saigon on 13th April 1975 and unified Vietnam there. So still like India, Pakistan, they were got their independence, still they are fighting it out. So they were some sort of minimum conflicts that we can say that they are still there, and this still ended with some conflicts between the US. They are fighting with the Saigon regime there, and the NLF also continued. The NLF occupied the presidential palace in Saigon on 30th April 1975 and unified Vietnam. So when the NLF also won against their Saigon regime, they win in the 30th April 1975 and unified Vietnam there. So we have completed the chapter. We just recap what we have just studied. So the role of women in anti-imperialist struggle in Vietnam. So plays, novels and paintings were made about the heroic women of the past, such as Trung Sisters and Trieu Anu, in order to create patriotism among the people. So there were many novels that were made so that they could create patriotism among the people. Women joined the army and fought bravely against the American troops, and they succeeded in shooting down warplanes. They were dedicated workers. They carried rifle on their back and worked in the field. They were involved in nursing the injured and constructing underground rooms and tunnels. They worked as helpers in Ho Chi Minh style. They carried goods. So basically the role of women was quite strong here. You can all you can see. They were Trung sisters. They were two Vietnamese women who fought against the Chinese domination. Phan Bu Chau wrote a play based on their lives, and when they lost the war, they killed themselves The Vietnamese people considered the Trung sisters as great patriots. So these were the two Trung sisters who have fighted out against this Chinese domination, and when they were kind of verge of the decision with the Chinese army, they killed themselves. Now there was Liu Anu. She organized an army to fight against the Chinese, and she lived in the forest and led the war. She killed herself when she lost the war. So basically, the women out there, they don't want to get defeated. They just kill themselves, but they don't want to lose that particular war there. She was Liu Anu, as you can see the image. Now, end of the war, common people of the USA opposed their country's involvement in the war, and movies and media showed the miseries of the American soldiers. American forces suffered heavy damages. Many were killed in the war, and world opinion turned against the US. Many writers and thinkers supported Vietnam. A peace agreement was signed in January 1974, and the war ended when Saigon was freed. So we are done with this chapter. The new republic was Vietnam was built, and still, thank God this chapter is ended. There is just one more lecture I have to just give you from this particular chapter. That will be the summary of the entire chapter. We'll done with that on the Monday lecture, and we'll finish off this chapter. You don't need to do the question answers of this particular chapter. Just whatever I'm giving you the homework from this particular chapter, just do that. That's all, and I'm not giving you much of the homework so that you can't do it. So it's just a small thing that we are doing. So the homework solution now, I have given you two questions. So the first question was, explain the causes of the US involvement in the war in Vietnam. What effect did this involvement have on life within the US itself? So the US got involved in the war in Vietnam because it feared that a communist government would come to power the Vietnam after the National Liberation Front formed a coalition with the Ho Chi Minh government in the north and against Ngo Dinh Diem's regime. US policy planners feared the spread of communism to other countries in the area, and this involvement in the Vietnam War affected life within the US itself. Because of widespread public dissent, only university graduates were exempt from compulsory services in the army, and this caused even more danger amongst the minorities and working class families. Right, and second question was, write an evolution on the Vietnamese war against the US from the point of view of a potter on the Ho Chi Minh tribe. So from 1965 to 72, the US-Vietnam War continued and caused losses to both US and Vietnam. The Vietnamese people suffered human and property losses, yet they never stopped their struggle for freedom. Here it is important to mention the role played by the Potters in getting freedom and unity of Vietnam. The Potters set out without fear on the Ho Chi Minh Trail, which was a great expansion network of roads and footpaths. The heroic Potters carried as much as 25 kg to 70 kg of weight on their backs or bicycles. They did not fear that they might fall over the deep valleys, and they bravely walked on the narrow, dangerous roads and marked the treacherous routes. They also need not feel afraid of being shot down by aircraft guns, and they put all their fears aside and walked on to maintain the supply line. This fact showed that the Potters were heroic and patriotic. So this is whole as the homework solution, and the homework that I want to assign you in this particular lecture is question number 1. Write an evolution of the Vietnam War against the US from the point of view of women soldier. And question number 2. What was the role of women in the anti-imperial struggle in Vietnam? Compare this with the role of women in the nationalist struggle in India. So these are the two questions you have to do as homework. And still you have queries from this chapter, you can ask me. We are not going to have any test from this chapter, and I am not going to give you the question and answer solution, because you are not going to do that in your particularly notebook. So it's just for your briefing up some of the concepts from this chapter, which is very much needed. That's why I have taken this chapter and I taught you. So that's it from this particular chapter. And one more thing, this particularly I am hearing about a locust attack that is going to come to Haryana as well now. So better you should take precautions, because they are going to come into your house and you will not be able to take them out in any way, because they will coming in such a huge number. There's one of the families that is very close to me, they are living in Jaipur, and they were struggling very badly from this thing. So please take care from this thing also, and the coronavirus as well, because it is also increasing daily. The number is increasing daily, so just take care of your health. That is the most important thing. And that's it. Still you have queries, you can ask me in the comment section or the student query section, that you all know. And thank you so much class, just take care.